Working with the Nairobi Stock Exchange, we've been working with them for over a year now. Originally came to them through the ASEA, the African Securities Exchanges Association, and as you may know, we built a couple of equities indexes a short while ago. But no, the important thing about having an index in a market is really to kind of throw the light of transparency on the market, to help increase liquidity, to get people interested in the investable proposition that is what the index represents. And so the fixed income market here really growing very fast, and we want to help contribute to that growth as well. So the Nairobi Stock Exchange really innovatively, if you like, have worked with us to create and design this index. FTSE as an international index provider knows a thing or two about building indices, but we work very closely in partnership with stock exchanges around the world to create something that's specific for a given market. So the experts in the fixed income market here, working with our index experts, have created, yes, a benchmark, but then we're hoping also that we will attract investable products, things like index tracking funds, derivatives, that kind of product.
Because there's an international visibility that comes with an index like this.
Absolutely. So I'm a FTSE global brand, and we've been working in Africa for more than a decade now, and really believe in the work that we do here in terms of broadening and deepening markets, and really shining that spotlight onto the concept that is the investable proposition. So, you know, we've put the index together, looking at the performance of it. It's one of those wonderful graphs that only goes up since the index was put together. Right. So it's a good story.
How does this market compare to the other regional competitors? This is the first around East Africa, but I'm sure in Southern Africa and parts of West Africa there's more developed markets.
Yes, quite possibly. But I think, as I say, this is the first in this particular region. So to that extent, it's incomparable, if you like, and I think it marks a really great innovation from the Kenyan guys here and the Nairobi Stock Exchange to really talk about developing their markets.
The capital markets are only starting to develop right here, so you're saying having a benchmark like this helps instill even the sense of corporate governance.
Absolutely, because all FTSE indexes, the reason we put our brand on the front of something is that they are run through independent committees of market practitioners. FTSE doesn't say this is how it should be. FTSE works with those market practitioners and our partners to create something that's fit for purpose, that suits the domestic market as well, and that really does a decent job. So when you see the FTSE brand on the front of anything, that's what it means. It's going to be transparent, it's going to be clear rules. Those rules are going to be published on our website. They're going to go out to thousands of users through our distribution channels, and really start to draw some attention onto this market. So that governance is a very important part of things as well.
You say that the index is calculated on both a capital and a total return basis.
Yeah.
What does this mean in English?
That means with and without tax.
Right. That will be without tax. So you're including Kenyan shilling denominated bullet bonds, zero coupon bonds, and strippable bonds. All
the bonds that are available on the market, absolutely. And the predominance there is government issuance, and we start. I think there are about 59 bonds issued on the stock exchange at the moment. Right. And you know, we expect that to grow over time as well. But this is important to drive investment to be put back into infrastructure products. And our experience, you know, across Asia, across Europe, all the other markets that we work in as well, is that this kind of benchmark attracts investment, because people can see that this is done in a kind of risk-managed way, say very transparent. There's this expression, you know, the index will perform. It does what it says on the tin. You know,
exactly.
You know, you see those ingredients, you see those rules. That's how it's going to behave. And investors do not like uncertainty. They like to know what's going to be happening.
A development like this also means the financial products that can be offered here, or that can be introduced, are actually can become a lot more complex. Things like ETFs,
absolutely,
which is something that's still in the mechanism, regulatory mechanism is being put in place.
Yeah. Well, our experience. I mean, for instance, we did. With the Istanbul Stock Exchange a few years ago. Right. We did the FTSE Istanbul bond index, and then an ETF was created on that, and actually attracted hundreds of millions of dollars of investment over a very short period of time. Yeah, so the experience is that you put together an index that is tradable, so it's screened to make sure that all the instruments are liquid, you can get in and out of them quickly, that there are certain thresholds in terms of the size of the bond as well, so that the instrument is good and solid. And then typically what we try and do is, yes, attract people through our international networks and indeed with local players to start putting together financial products on those indices.
All right, excellent. Finally, you already have a FTSE indices, the two FTSE indices on the equity side of things.
Exactly, that's right.
And so this is a development of building
exactly.
that.
And I think, when we first came to work with the NSE, the simplest thing, to be frank, was to put together the equity side of things. That started off the partnership. We've got the sort of blue chip and also I think the most liquid stocks as well represented in those indices. The slightly more complex one to do was the fixed income one, which we've now delivered. Talking with the gentleman at the NSE this morning, I think we will see further development of the index series. That's what typically happens when we work with stock exchanges.